On today's edition of the Reno You Know, we're going to take a special look inside two long-closed casinos here in downtown Reno, the Old Money Tree and the Horseshoe. And there are parts of these buildings that you're going to see that have been abandoned for almost 30 years. The owner of the building that used to house the Money Tree Casino, which today houses the Virginia Street Brew House, reached out to me after seeing a couple of my videos and asked if I'd like to come down and take a tour of the old building, as well as the Horseshoe, which is owned by a friend of his. And to his inquiry, I said, hell yes. And I'm bringing you along for the tour. I'm going to give you some historical information on these properties before we go in to give you some context. And let me start by saying that in the Nevada casino business, it's not unusual for properties to open and close and change ownership. Change is definitely a constant in this business. And this was really underscored for me when I did my research for my Horseshoe Club documentary. The Nevada casino business has always been and always will be very competitive, and new ideas are always needed and ways to reinvent yourself, or you just can't keep up. The creation of the Money Tree Casino was announced in 1968 by, and a lot of people don't know this, Charles Mapes, the owner of the late Mapes Hotel Casino. The story of the Mapes is deserving of an episode of its own, but let's suffice to say for now that the Mapes was indeed one of the most famous properties in Reno. It was built in 1947 in the Art Deco style and was the first high-rise hotel to be built in the United States following World War II. It was an instant sensation, and the Mapes and its popular Sky Room were absolute must-sees in Reno. The Mapes ultimately suffered from competition from newer and more modern properties, and it was shuttered and vacant for 18 years. The condemnation and the implosion of the Mapes Hotel on Super Bowl Sunday of the year 2000 was deeply distressing to many members of our community, many of which argued that it should be saved. And it's now been almost a quarter century from the date of this filming that it was torn down. And it wouldn't have been such a bitter pill to swallow if something uber cool was put in its place, as opposed to what we have today, essentially a vacant lot. The Mapes was still a happening place in the 1960s, and Charles Mapes wanted to branch out and expand and open a casino closer to the action in the middle of town that Harrah's and Horseshoe Club and the Horseshoe were enjoying. He chose this location, which today houses the Virginia Street Brew House, but back then this was the location of a jewelry store and a couple of clothing stores. Those were demolished, construction commenced, and the Money Tree opened on July 1st, 1969, being licensed for 1 roulette game, 2 craps, 6 21 games, 1 keno, and 325 slot machines. The name of the Money Tree referenced a metal money tree that stood just inside the entrance. I should point out that that tree in front of the location of the old Money Tree is not the Money Tree, it's just a tree. Because the Mapes and the Money Tree were under the same ownership, many employees would split their shifts between the two locations. They could start at the Mapes and then walk down to the Money Tree here and finish off their shift. On this corner of 2nd and Sierra Streets used to be several small businesses, including Les LaRude's Pie Shop and the Crest Theater. However, in 1975, Charlie Mapes announced that he was going to expand the Money Tree into this corner, and he cleverly did so by joining this property to his Virginia Street fronted Money Tree Casino by leasing the airspace over Fulton Alley. By simply expanding his existing business as opposed to building a new one, he didn't have to license the new facility, nor did he have to build a minimum of 100 hotel rooms, which was the requirement of the city's Red Line district. I did a video on that, and I'll leave a video link in the description of this one. The Money Tree expansion opened here in 1978, and the facade at that time featured a large number of mirrors. Although the appearance of the old facade has changed, the architectural structure that we see today is still essentially what was here in 1978. The Money Tree expansion opened at probably the worst time to do so. Opening at almost the same time were Circus Reno and the Reno Sahara, and several other major properties opened that year, including the MGM Grand. 1978 was a year of major transformative expansion in this then little town, and this was when Reno changed from being a little town that simply coexisted with gambling into a major tourist-driven economy. A serious crisis developed then for many properties because almost overnight there was a one-third increase in the number of gambling machines and games, but the customer base remained the same. The Money Tree and the Mapes both developed severe financial hardships during this time. Parts of the Money Tree were closed at different times, and in November of 1980, the Mapes Corporation filed for bankruptcy and sought to reorganize to repay its creditors the more than $16 million that it owed. In December of 1982, both the Mapes and the Money Tree closed, and they never again reopened. Hey, Todd! I'm Steve Ellison from Reno, you know.
Nice to meet you, Todd Blumhoff,
Todd,
from Virginia Street Brew House.
Absolutely. Here we are, and now you own the brew house, the business, the building?
We own the business, and okay. We lease the business, and full-time concert venue, and nightclubs hosting space.
Cool. And how long has it been the brew house?
We've been the brew house now for 4 years, and we've been bringing in artists from across the country.
Cool. Just like the Knitting Factory before?
Correct.
Okay. Free information, my band played the Knitting Factory about 2014, so nice. I'm vaguely familiar with the building. And this building has a really cool history. This property facing Virginia Street used to be the Money Tree Casino.
Absolutely.
And that's how it opened, I believe, in 1969 by Charlie Mapes.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. So what do you know about the old building and how it came to be?
Mainly a lot of the Jacob Davis history from the original, when the building that was on the spot with the blue jeans, the knitting factory, and the rivet, the invention of the rivet. Mainly just that, the exact dates when they came to they were creating blue jeans, and there was an issue with the blue jeans not holding up over time.
Yes.
And so they were trying to figure it, go back and forth, and they came up with the idea of the rivet, created that by putting it onto the blue jean, and then that was ended up being sold to Levi.
Nice.
And then Levi took over production of that.
And that was in this
spot.
In this spot,
yep.
Yeah. Very cool.
Absolutely.
So this was the Money Tree, opened by Charlie Mapes in 1969, I believe.
Correct.
And of course, the casino patrons would enter behind us. This is open. This all opened up to Virginia Street at that point, of course, being a casino. And then so there's a main level here.
We do have the main level, and then we do have another section up above us that the customers went to, and then we have a mechanical room, with all the original boilers and steamers and chiller lines and all the more industrial equipment. Not all of that's used today. Yeah. And then we also do have a lower level, which helped connect a lot of these buildings together back then.
After this was the Money Tree Casino. They closed up in 1982, I believe.
Correct.
Then what became of the property?
Went to multiple businesses actually. As we have been doing some remodeling and changing, we'll see different, the different sections of different buildings and what they've done. And I actually, we no longer have the piece, but it actually had 2 or 3 different businesses that they were marking on the pieces as they were creating, redesigning, and building on. And
I remember Eddie's Fabulous 50s.
And there was a blues club.
A blues club, yeah.
And I'd have to, do a little bit more background on that.
Very cool. Well, that's kind of my job too.
Exactly. So. There we go. We'll get it together.
I do remember when this was Eddie's Fabulous 50s, they used to have, of course, the 50s theme, and they had these half 50s cars, and they would sit up here on this balcony, and you could look over, sit, have a drink, and watch the 50s movies that they rolled on that screen down there. But they don't do that anymore. But this is so cool. You can look down on the band as they're playing.
Correct.
I love this venue. It's very awesome.
It's what Reno really needs, is that medium-sized venue that can help everybody.
And it's smack dab in the middle of downtown.
Right, in the heart of downtown.
Yeah, and the more vitality we can get down here, it's better for everybody, better for the businesses and the community. So good on you for running this down here.
we're really happy to be here.
Perfect, perfect. So now we're up in the above the balcony level. This is a kind of a third floor?
Kind of a third floor.
Okay.
It was one of the old mechanical rooms that connected the casinos together.
Nice. So I think I understand it. This is from the old casino days, and you don't use this?
We don't use any of this anymore. This is all the air coolers, boiler room, exhaust fans when all the buildings were tied together.
Okay, cool. So these buildings had air curtains.
Air curtains.
Casinos had those back in the day.
Boilers.
Right.
And then the main AC was through the central unit that then all the exhaust fans operated with.
Cool. So with the you have AC today, but just not using.
We use a
more modern system.
More of a modern system, individual system on different floors.
Nice. So all this equipment's probably circa 1960s.
Absolutely.
When the money tree opened.
Yep.
Very cool. And the old boiler is back here somewhere. Is that right?
You have the boiler back here to the right. And again, we don't use the boiler anymore.
Well, look at that. Burnham Ray packaged boiler, 1968. Oh. Look at that, Burnham Ray packaged boiler in 1968. Thing is huge. Man. Well, it looks like they got a fermenter back here for their on-site brewery. No, that's not what that is. But it sure kind of looks like it. Wow. Nice.
So again, this is another one of the air parts to the air curtain.
Okay.
But you had air curtains in the front and in the back because when the two casinos connected, there was a crossover on the alley side between the two.
Oh, can you see the crossover between the two
It's just
properties?
where the back doors are versus you have the overhang and the employees crossed on the top.
Can you show us where the employees would have crossed?
Sure, straight down over here. Absolutely.
You know the place better than I do.
Not a problem.
We will follow you. Very cool. Right here.
Okay. Right over here is where the crossover for the staff was.
So all the staff had to come all the way up these stairs and up through here, cross the skyway into the other facility.
Correct.
That's kind of convoluted.
And then the air curtains between the two were on the alley entrance. So
wow.
That's where.
Did they have air purifiers back then? Do you know?
I'm not sure. That'd be good to find out. Actually.
Yeah, I wonder. Well, that's cool. So that's the passway to the alley crossover into the other property. How cool is that? All right, Todd, this is the way to the roof?
Access to the roof.
Oh, let's check it out.
There we go.
Ta-da! Oh my gosh, it's daylight out here. Look at this. Very cool. So these are really historic properties right here. You got the old Harrah's there right now, and this of course was the money tree back in the day, and you can see the horseshoe over here, and in between the horseshoe and the old money tree was the silver spur. And at one time, the horseshoe purchased the silver spur and annexed that and brought it into the horseshoe business. And this is the old Byington building right here, which you probably saw on my famous intersections video. I'll leave a link to that in the description of this video. The cool thing about what we see right here is the rest of the Byington building has been stuccoed over at some point, but that's the brickwork for the old Byington building, which is pretty cool to see. I've never seen that part of that building. Wow. Nice. So this is how the whole building used to look. It used to be all brick like that. But well, right down there is Virginia Street. You can't see it from the facade, but this is what it looks like on the top of one of these old historic casino buildings. All right, and now we're gonna go down to the basement here.
This is the basement, and this is the area right now where our bands come up for performances. So they either come in the front or they'll come in the back rampway.
Cool, we get to see the band green room. This is where the talent hangs out when they're not on stage or getting ready. Cool. So, and back when this was in the casino days, what would the underground area be used for?
Mainly for offices and count rooms. So the current green room that we use, this is where the bands kind of get ready before they head up. But the larger green room is where the count room was for the casino.
All right, they had it in the basement, huh?
They had it down here, and actually the safe, one of the main safes is still here.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
So right through here. So you had just different offices up and down. This was a different configuration, but this room here was the count room, and then the safe, which they still have the original door and the room for, is still in place.
Oh, this is the old safe. Look at that. The safe for the count room. Wow.
That is gnarly.
So cool. Nice.
So right now, currently...
Do you know the combination?
We don't, actually, no.
And what's the pathway that they take to the stage?
Exactly how we walked up.
Okay.
So there's a little corner there if they want to go behind the stage, or how we came if they want to enter the front. Depends on the band. Some like to come straight in, some like to come behind.
I got you. Okay, can we see the behind?
Absolutely.
Stairway, because I've seen bands use that.
Absolutely.
Da-da-da. I remember with these walls were all murally and painted and
were they?
Crazy, yeah.
Was that when it was the knitting factory?
Yes. Yes. Cool. Okay, so the bands get ready, and then they would come up right through here.
Right through. There we go. Okay.
So they have two options to get to the stage.
Two options, and a lot of them are choosing to come around the front and enter with the public.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they can come up this way.
Or they can come up this way.
Right on.
Oh, yeah.
Todd, I sure appreciate you showing us around your property here and your business, and we want nothing but the best for you. Great success in the future, and you've done well. I've seen shows here, and it's a really good time and a great location.
We appreciate you coming and having a chance to look around.
Right on. Thank you, man.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
You too.
There's a giant horseshoe here on Virginia Street, and of course this was the location of the old Horseshoe Club. And the Horseshoe Club has been gone for almost 30 years now, but it's still cool to have this mid-century reminder of it being here. But what do we really know about the Horseshoe Club? Let's take a look. Back in the old days, up to the mid-1950s, the west side of Virginia Street looked like many other streets in America, being home to several small businesses, including cafes and clothing stores and many others. At the time, gambling was not permitted on the west side of Virginia Street. In 1955, Ernie Prim, in a years-long struggle, finally got approved to open the Prima Donna Club on the west side of Virginia Street, the first to do so, and those small business buildings started to come down. In 1956, the Horseshoe was the second gaming property to be opened on the west side of Virginia Street, very close to the Prima Donna. The Horseshoe opened in October of 1956 by a collection of 13 owner investors. When it opened, it had this pretty cool looking facade, and this was changed in 1961 during a $1 million renovation to include the Horseshoe that we see today. This renovation also added a second floor and added 2,800 square feet to the ground level. The second floor included a restaurant where diners could look down on the activity on Virginia Street through the windows. In 1981, the Horseshoe bought out the neighboring Silver Spur and merged the businesses into one larger space. And then in 1989, Bob Cashel, who was the former lieutenant governor of Nevada and later became the mayor of Reno, purchased and reopened the Horseshoe. It cost him $3 million at the time. Over time, the Horseshoe Club ultimately had 5 ownership and management teams, and except for a couple of short closures, this property operated as the Horseshoe Club for almost 40 years, from 1956 until 1995. All right, Jamie Kashmiri, is that right?
That's right.
I sure appreciate you having us into the old location of the Horseshoe Casino here in Reno, and we're on the second floor right now.
That's right.
Now, is there much left of the casino?
There's not much. This part is the bar, the renovated bar restaurant that we hear. All the old stuff from this first floor and the basement are still remnants from the Horseshoe Casino.
Nice. I think you're going to show us some really cool
yeah.
things from the early days.
Yes.
But before we do that, Kashmiri, I did a video documentary on Harold's Club years ago, and in my research I found after Harold Smith Jr. passed away, there was a letter written, I think it was published in the newspaper, by, I believe, a Joe Kashmiri, who was his bodyguard.
Yes, my father was his bodyguard.
So your father was Harold Smith Jr.'s bodyguard.
That's right, across the street.
That is so cool. That was Harold's right across the street.
I didn't think I was going to cry today, but okay.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that. But let's head out this way, and I think there's some old casino things that we can see.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a kitchen up here. We renovated it, but it's pretty primarily the same kitchen, but that's not. And then we have the old air conditioning stuff, but that's not, and the chutes and all that stuff. But the stuff that you really want to see is down here. And this kind of like a mezzanine floor, between the second floor.
Okay, in between, I got you.
And this is the old security room, right here. It's kind of dark, but you see the old Horseshoe Casino surveillance.
Oh my gosh, this is like Mission Control in Houston.
That's right. You see the old VHS tapes of them, and then in here we even have like some of the old thieves and stuff, the people to look after. You know, they make the timestamps, and you know.
Look at these old video monitors.
Yes. To give you an idea how old this was, they still kept the phone book from 1996, 97. So.
Almost 30 years old.
Yes, that's right.
It's like they just walked away and closed the door.
They just walked away and closed the surveillance room.
Oh my gosh, Keno, Megabucks, Phil Window.
Yes.
Wow, all the gear's still here from the old
casino days. All the old stuff.
That's amazingly cool.
Yeah, so these are some shady figures from 30 years ago.
From back in the day. Oh my gosh.
And then, hold on. And then right here, if you go through, John, want to show how there's the I don't know if you want to go through.
I do.
The old walkway, like the
catwalk,
or
the old
to go look to
the old
everyone who was playing.
the cheaters.
This is John, the owner of the building of the Old Money Tree, and he's going to help us out here.
Yeah.
You know the way?
I'm too big for this. I'm too big.
Can you fit, Scott? Who's running the camera?
Yeah, I had a light flash.
All right.
I saw it in there.
So the security guys would have to crawl through here?
Yes. And they would have their binoculars. There would be a one-way glass.
So
they got rid of the one-way glass.
Let me get out the way for the camera here.
You're right. No, go back. That's a convenience store.
No. Look at that sign. That's.
Yeah, they would have one-way glass here, and they would.
Okay. So
what
is this?
Okay.
What is this?
Spot cheaters.
So this was always a horseshoe.
We have found the.
Okay.
Crap.
I didn't know that either.
Cool, and this camera goes all the way to the front.
I thought it was
all the way
like
to Yeah, wow. So this is the old cage for the casino?
Yes, this is the old casino cage.
Really?
That was the front doors. This is the original front doors that came in.
Down
so they
here?
came down there, and people would come here, and this is the old cage.
Okay.
And then, and there is a dumbwaiter back here that they have.
Check it out.
Right here. And then it would go into the cage room, which is the base. We'll walk through the cage room.
Okay, cool.
So there's the old dumbwaiter where they put the money. Mm-hmm. There wasn't a food dumbwaiter, that's for sure. And then we'll come over here. Let's turn downstairs.
Alrighty.
And this is where the essence of the casino still has it. This is the bathrooms. You have the men's and women's. They still have the bank of bathrooms. This is the old. I bet you remember this. Oh, I forget. I'm not picking that up. It's the old cigarette machines.
The old cigarette.
Yeah.
And it might be too dark for the video,
Yeah,
but there you go.
Oh yeah.
You pull the handle.
They didn't care how old you were at that time. They didn't check the ID back in there.
No, they didn't.
So,
Those things were.
and you know what's funny? I think most of those brands are still around.
They're still around, aren't they? Yeah.
Camel, Benson's Hedges, maybe not. Cool's definitely.
Yeah.
Virginia Slims, I don't know. But anyway.
That's awesome.
All right, and so this was, I think, their washroom and stuff. And then over here, this was the break room. You can see where the lockers are and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And this is where, okay, can I get in this one? Hey, Oscar, can we get in this?
No, this is never.
Oh, this was never, maybe it's this
They're
one.
open.
Oh, here, I'm sorry, this is it. This is it. This, remember the dumbwaiter?
Yeah.
The dumbwaiter right here. This is where it ended up.
Okay, cool. So was this the count room then?
This is the count room.
Okay.
See this? Still has all the stuff right here. You see all the coin? Let's see. God dang it. So this is,
Oh, the old coin wraps.
yeah. And all the, yeah, and all the like nickels and stuff like that from down here. See all the old,
Yeah, see the old coin wraps and such down here? Wow.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, nothing's changed much in here.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the safe?
And the safe is still there. See
Yeah.
this? Look at this bad boy.
Yeah, that's the real deal.
Time capsule.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, the dumbwaiter. And then here, like if this is the one-way mirror. I don't know how this works, but this is.
Okay, one way, so the
I guess they're looking on inside stuff like that.
right. But just coin boxes and such from
Yes.
back in the
Oh
day.
yeah, those
It's
coin
all-
boxes everywhere.
It's all still here.
In fact, if you look close enough to some of these right here, you still see the. I don't know where they all went. Ah, see. You see the old Keno. I mean,
The old chips.
the old what's the game? Roulette chips.
Okay, and they're just on the floor.
Yeah, there's this.
That's great.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them around here, but I don't know why they're on the floor. But
Oh my gosh.
I think I have friends who I came by and took them thinking there's value to them,
Oh yeah.
which there is none.
Right.
It even says there's no cash value to them.
Right.
I mean, I guess I could show you the old, like the air curtains.
Yeah, the air curtains, and then John mentioned Bob Cashell's office.
Bob Cashell's office.
I-
I think he thinks the security room. I think he's saying that's
Really?
his favorite. He's bringing that up.
Okay.
He always shows people that. You know. Okay, so that's that. So this is the old air curtains right here. We can walk through here. It's a little slanted. So you
No
can be
worries.
careful.
The old air curtains.
Yeah, right here. Right here. This is the old air curtain machine. So
Oh
we
my
are
gosh.
we are under the city, right? We are under the sidewalk.
Under the sidewalk.
And this is the thing right here that turns the turbine to push the air up.
Okay, so this is the air curtains under the sidewalk.
So right, remember this is the
So the public would enter from Virginia Street here.
right now.
in,
Yes, we are right now above below the sidewalk.
Below the sidewalk. Okay, cool. And this is the blower that
Below is this here, and this is the
these condensers.
condensers for the air curtains.
Oh
like
my
you won't
gosh.
see these around anymore.
Look at that. Frozen in time. They
Yes.
just walked away. Oh, they have two blowers down.
Yeah.
There's another one down
he's
here.
right here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. And what was the power bill during
Oh
those
my God!
days
If
to
you-
run
I
all
mean, I
this
can
stuff?
show you the power bank, the switch gear that's in here. Boom. Because remember, everything was LED.
Oh yeah.
It was all crazy.
Absolutely. Look at that. Well, that's a refrigeration system right there. Jeez Louise.
The old telephone room, you can see for all the.
Oh, and here's the old telephone room? Yeah.
There's all this. I remember all these.
Oh, yeah.
So I know that. But look at the FedEx rates for 96.
96.
Jesus.
That's great.
I'm telling you, it's 30 years. This thing's been a capsule.
Yeah. Oh, wired.
I don't know how
phones.
much of this is pertinent or useful, but
Oh, yeah. And then
Yeah.
Bob Cashell probably had his office down here.
probably did.
Yeah. So as I understand it, this building didn't, when it opened in the 50s, didn't have a second floor. And during one of the renovations, I think in the early 80s,
Oh, they built up?
they added the second floor and a restaurant in here.
Yeah,
So this must
is-
have been,
So I have the kitchen is still there, and then this is the restaurant. So the
Okay.
kitchen primarily is the same place, same everything.
okay, cool.
And then what I did was just this was part of the restaurant. I just opened it up outside because there's a balcony out there.
Right, okay.
So I was trying to do a New Orleans themed restaurant.
Can we get out, can we walk out there, or is it locked?
He's got the key, sure.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the restaurant was added, and this overlook, so the diners could look
But
down
this
on
wasn't
the
outside.
action
This,
on Virginia
this
Street.
was all windows.
was
I took
windows,
the
yeah.
windows out.
Okay.
I put this here, and then so people could have a balcony.
Nice. If you look down, you could see the horseshoe sign from the back.
That's
here.
right.
You never get to see that angle. Does the old sign light up? The
It does at night, yes.
It
but
does?
what we're going to do is, and that's going to start next month, we're taking all the neon out, and we're just going to light the horseshoe up. The horseshoe lights up now, but it's not working well. I'm going to redo it and fix it all up. And then we're keeping the horseshoe on the sides and in the front.
So you're going to keep the horseshoe
The
motif.
horseshoe, this is all going to stay, except I'm taking, because those don't work anymore, it's neon, it's not, you know. So we're taking all those neon glass out on that side, and we're just going to relight this with LEDs to keep the old lights.
I like it. Now this hasn't been the horseshoe for almost 30 years. So why keep the horseshoe? And I'm glad you are, because it's a historic piece of old Reno.
You know, it's already, everything is built basically around the sign, if you believe it or not.
Yeah.
So when the guy told me, he goes, listen, if you're going to try to take the sign down, it'll cost you 3 times just to build a new sign.
Oh, really?
Because I mean it's heavy and it's part of the supports of the building.
Yeah.
So it's
wow,
so might as well just go with it, you know.
leave
Plus
it,
it's part of Reno history.
Absolutely. Well, good on you for leaving that.
So-
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I think that facade was built in 1961.
Yeah.
Maybe that's when that renovation was done. So lots of dates floating around in my head.
Yeah.
Well, this is a really cool little space.
Yeah.
Man, there's
I'm
unique
trying
in downtown.
to bring some new stuff into it, and then keep some of the old, melding the two. It's been difficult, but
that's
it's got to be creative.
Got to be done. Absolutely.
That's right.
Very cool. All right, thanks for hanging out with us today on this episode. I sure hoped you enjoyed walking through some old casino buildings here in historic downtown Reno, the Money Tree and the Horseshoe. You don't always get the opportunity to see that kind of thing. I know I sure don't. So it was just great to see the inner workings of those old buildings, and great to see that is all still there. And I wish those business owners much success in the future. It's great for Reno, great for downtown, and great for the community to have successful, viable businesses here in downtown. And to end this episode, I'm here at the Silver Peak, here on the corner of Sierra and First Street. And this is an awesome brew house. They have about 20 beers on tap. And today I'm enjoying a Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest, one of their seasonals. This just came out, and they do a collaboration beer for Oktoberfest. Sierra Nevada collaborated with Brauerei Gutmann of Germany, a family-owned brewery that's been around since 1707. And this beer style is called a fest beer. It's biscuity, malty, and really clean drinking. So check out Sierra Nevada's Oktoberfest. Well, that is all I have for you today. I got my next episode in the hopper. I'm working on that as well. So as Harold F. Smith Sr. of Harold's Club always said, I'm with you. Cheers.